I actually have Jalin Hyatt. Actually,
Ah,
finally,
Jalin.
finally, yes, Jalin has finally arisen from the dead, man.
Finally!
Yeah.
I'm,
It's like fucking Lazarus. He's back. Yeah. He's like Lazarus. He's back from the dead.
no, we should have played the CM Punk theme,
I do the
the CM
I'm in my
Punk
chair,
theme
but I do
song.
the zombie sit up if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Jalen
yeah,
Hyatt,
yeah, yeah. Punk's back. Yeah, we should do a wrestling stream too. Punk's back.
yeah, right now, Jalen Hyatt he's only 11% rostered and 2% started. Jalen Hyatt right now, I think, is more of a deeper play right now. The Giants are actually on bye, so I wouldn't try to go out and rush to pick him up in some of your deeper leagues or some of your leagues right now if you don't think if he's going to still be out there in waiver wires. I'm pretty sure he might be, but it's hard to say how many people will be rushing out to get him. So he could be out there, but if your bench is kind of deep, then maybe you could possibly pick him up. Um, the only downfall with him right now, in the rookie categories, he's actually 15th overall in fantasy points with 51 fantasy points. Giants been kind of sucking. The Giants. I think this is kind of like a wake up call for the Giants. I know we've been wanting to see this happen earlier in the season. Especially even this summer, we talked about Jalen Hyatt and how bad this Giants wide receiver core is. And just horrible in general. Because they didn't have anybody to actually pick up, be actually a number one wide receiver in this core. You had Wandale Robson, Sterling Shepard, and then you have Isaiah Hodgson, and then you got Slayton. So you have all these wide receivers, but what are they doing? What are they doing to help you out? Absolutely nothing. And that's what we talked about this summer. With the whole Giants core. Um, Hyatt right now these are all upon the rookie stats. He's actually 15th in the rookies for 28 reception or 28 targets overall in general. He's actually 12th in the rookie yards with 330 yards. Then his next couple of games actually coming up here is actually week 14 with Green Bay. After their bye, um, they actually have Green Bay's actually eighth best in passing yards, with 219 yards. They don't give up a whole lot of receiving yards to their to opposing wide receivers. So I know I could this I don't if they actually start giving him the ball and actually letting him rip down the field, I could see him actually tearing up the Packers defense. I mean, this is what the Giants need. They need to let go. They need to do something with this offense toward the end of the season. Because with Danny Dimes not being there, who knows what they're going to be doing. With quarterbacks or changing a lot of stuff. Playoffs, week 15, 16, and 17. They're at he actually plays the Saints, which is seventh best. Philly, Philly might be a good matchup because they're actually like 29th worst against passing. Giving up about 275 yards. So with them being one of the best teams, it's kind of crazy to see them being bad in the passing defense. And then they play the Rams for week 17 for your championship games. 233 yards, which is 13 best. So Hyatt could be useful in maybe week 16 against Philly, possibly, and that's actually at Philly, but it's hard saying if it's gonna be snowing or raining there too as well. But he's got a couple favorable matchups, I think, overall. But I don't know, what do you think?
I don't know why they weren't doing this earlier. I don't know if it's just building a rapport with Tommy DeVito, or just finally Hyatt's picked up the offense, or it was just a lucky 100+ yard performance. Which these Giants receivers have been doing this for 5 years. Slayton, how many times has he done this in a year? Like when he's healthy, it'd be a couple times where you're like, whoa, where'd that 100-yard game come from? Shepard, even Wandale, the last year and a half, he'd have the occasional 100-yard game. There needs to be more of this because this is what he's here for. He is a modern day poor man's Deshaun Jackson. Remember the speedster from the Eagles and the Bucks and all the teams that Deshaun was with, but back in the day,
Washington.
Get him the ball. Is it that complicated? You have nothing to lose. You're an awful football team. Okay, you're not going to the playoffs. You're not trying. I mean, Dable's not going to get fired. I mean, the guy was coach of the year last year, so he ain't going to get fired. Your $40 million quarterback is out, so nobody's going to hold it against you if you go 6-11, 5-12. So I'd take some chances here, and maybe you might hit on something. Maybe especially for fantasy owners, these last 6 weeks, 5 weeks of fantasy remaining. I think in a deeper 16-man league, he's definitely worth the look. Or if you got the roster spot, deep in your bench, I'd pick him up. 10 or 12 man, not yet. I need one more performance like this where he's targeted pretty heavily, or it can at least get some yards, at least get you 15 fantasy points that week. If he pops for another 15, 16 fantasy point performance, then yeah, I'm all over it. But 10 and 12 man, you've likely got guys, unless you have injuries, you've got guys better than him that are being targeted more. So, but for a rookie, what you were saying, he's in the top 12 for a couple categories for rookie. He's not having a terrible year for a rookie, not by any means. So,
yeah,
I wouldn't write Hyatt off quite yet.
Yeah, these are just mostly the rookie stats between rookies, with all the rookies. So I mean, he's 12th and 12th, with all the rookie stats, I mean that's not bad for him coming in and the Giants being kind of horrible, and he's kind of here and there, and it's nice to actually see a 100-yard game with him, out of him. I mean, he did this even with Tennessee. I mean, he's had these 200 some odd yard games with 3 touchdowns and whatnot. I mean, this guy is capable of these kind of games, but when the Giants are not doing anything, letting him go, or I mean, I'm sure it just has to do with poor offensive line, with them get sacked quite a bit too as well, and that, the offense not being great, so I mean that's the other issue about that too as well. But when you got another rookie quarterback in there, I mean it's it's gonna be a rookie against rookies, and it's just the whole part of the Giants sucking, I guess. But yeah, other than that, you got anything else on Jalin Hyatt before we move on to our next highlighted player?
Yeah, he's in there for 60% of the snaps. So, and I don't see why he can't be in there every, that amount every week. He should literally be starting at this point. You have nothing to lose. I mean, you want to see what the kid's got, and yeah, everybody. And we get a target Daniel Bellinger. Like, who the hell the Giants have? Other, Wandale. Come on now. It needs to be the Jalin Hyatt show going. Even if they lose games, I don't care. Like, target this man.
All right.